Welcome to our Sunday Reflections. Today we begin the third Sunday of Ordinary Time. Now, before we enter into the reflection, I'd like to leave you with a question as we enter into this Sunday's Gospel. And the question is this: is the good news of Jesus for me? Is the good news of Jesus for me? In this Sunday's Gospel, we have the beginning of Jesus' public life according to the evangelist Luke. After being baptized and his experience in the desert for 40 days, Jesus returns to Galilee and to his town of Nazareth. And the evangelist Luke tells us, driven by the Spirit. Jesus, sent by God, anointed with the Spirit of God, begins the mission that God the Father has entrusted to him. Jesus exists and lives only to do the will of the one who sent him. In the will of God, Jesus finds his fulfillment, his happiness. The connection between fulfillment and happiness in the will of God is something that most of us do not relate to. We think that doing the will of God is something foreign to our fulfillment and happiness. Perhaps this is why we live in constant conflict between my will and the will of God. Another interesting fact about the life and mission of Jesus is that he lives it in the region of Galilee. Jesus grows up and lives most of his life, including his mission, in Galilee. The region of Galilee lies at the crossroads of trade routes, cultures, and religions. It is in this diverse religious, cultural, and commercial environment that Jesus grows up and spends most of his public life. We can say with great confidence that religiously Galilee existed on the margins of Judaism. The Jewish religious center was Jerusalem, while Galilee was geographically and religiously on the margins of Judaism. Is it possible that the cultural and religious diversity of Galilee and the distance from Jerusalem influenced how Jesus understood his mission? Jesus was not a religious leader in the style of a Jewish rabbi, a priest, or scribe. He was a layman. Is this significant for us today? Do we seek the presence of God only in the centers of religious life, or are we also open to the presence of the Spirit of God in the margins of religion and society? As a good Jew, upon returning to his hometown of Nazareth, Jesus goes to the synagogue on the Sabbath. In the synagogue, as St. Paul will also do in his missionary journeys, Jesus finds a willing audience. And it is here that Jesus, taking up the words of the prophet Isaiah, proclaims his mission. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor, to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. In this proclamation of his mission, we have not only the content of his mission, but also those to whom this good news is addressed: the poor, the captives, the blind, and the oppressed. If we fail to see ourselves in this list of recipients, then perhaps Jesus' message is not for us. If we fail to discern our poverty, our captivity, our need for healing and liberation, then in us there is no need for God or salvation. So again, the question: is the good news of Jesus for me? My name is Father Tony Diaz, Claretian Missionary. God bless.